Ever heard of Nightmare? Like a lot of other games in the 90s, it came off of VHS, and what you would do is it would be timed with your play, and the character on the video would give you instructions on what to do while you played the game in real time. But being a scaredy cat, I refused to play it when my mom bought it for us. My brother, of course, was disappointed in not being able to play Nightmare, but my mom had a solution. She brought out Rat. It was a cheap, dingy little thing, and it was a little thing catered to kids my age, and what you did was you went around the board, you would be collecting cheese, and the first player to reach the end would win. It seems simple enough, and since it reminded us of Mousetrap, which we didn't have, there were no objections. So we popped the movie into the VHS and set up the board. Well, the first part of the video was just a simple explanation of the rules, as well as instructions on how you play the game and how the game worked. And then Rat came onto the TV, and he was not what any of us had been expecting. My smaller brother, who was only 3 at the time, immediately left the room crying. The rat did not even resemble a rat. The ears were too far big, and it had a mouth lined with 2 teeth, and the inside of the mouth looked almost swollen. The most striking part about the thing, though, was the eyes. They were large and glassy and fish-like. And then asked my mom I bothered her. I also begged my mom to turn it off, and Rat suddenly shouted loudly, screaming and wailing, "Wait your turn," in a demonic low-pitched voice that was not like all what his normal obnoxious nasal voice. In the background we could hear the narrator saying, "He's Rat. He's the boss," over and over again in an overly serious tone. The video was indescribable. Images across the screen in a quick succession, overcut with Rat's expressionless eyes. The images were some of the things I was afraid of at the time, like a person looking over a balcony and a hornet slowly stinging someone's eye, and an extreme close-up of a tarantula, a pit full of writhing cobras, and a bloodied syringe filled with green fluid. After that, my mom immediately turned off the video. I ran out of the room screaming and slamming my door. It took me 20 minutes of convincing that the video was gone. And my mom promised me that I would never, ever see it again. I had nightmares all week about Rat. However, that wasn't the last time I saw him. When me and my girlfriend were preparing to move in together, I was cleaning out the closet of my room, and I found Rat again, with the same VHS and the same board game. Inside, it was almost perfectly intact. I mean, save for a thick layer of cobwebs and dust bunnies. On top of it, this was strange. I thought to myself, didn't my mom get rid of it or something? I mean, what was the game doing in my room? I let out a bit of a gasp when I found it, and my girlfriend came into my room asking what was the matter. Breathing harshly, I said, Rat. She laughed a bit, asking if I was joking, and I shook my head, explaining that I wasn't. She didn't believe me. Nobody did, and I decided that the only way to prove it to her was to show her the video. I borrowed my neighbor's VHS and I played the video for her. Oh God, how the images have changed. I saw a clown. His nose bursting and spraying blood onto the screen. I saw a woman alone in the dark room. I saw a man being forced to pick up a white hot metal and hold it in his outstretched hand, turning his hand into a leathery mess. The scratching I heard as the child continued, picking up louder and louder, and then Rat showed up and began twisting and convulsing its arms, thrusting and weighing. This way, and that the costume didn't even look like a costume. It looked like real fur. As if you were to touch it, you would feel real rat fur. Its face was plastic, but instead a bristle of thorns with teeth, and the eyes turned inwards and suddenly popped out again. Rat's huge fist eyes were inside out, staring right at me, watching my every move, my every expression. It grinned widely and gestured at me and my girlfriend, and with a single outstretched inhuman hand, I could hear the faintest scratching of my front door. The TV went blank and showed the static. The scratching got louder and louder. It wasn't scratching anymore, but the thumping of tiny feet on wood. My girlfriend embraced me in fear, and my senses kicked in before anything else could happen. I stopped the video. I checked it and unplugged the VHS. The scratching stopped. When I looked out my living room, nothing was there. For some strange reason, the police showed up after, warning us that a neighbor had seen a figure outside her front door and had called in concern. I got chills when I heard the officer say that. My girlfriend and I couldn't explain what happened, so we had to tell the officer that it was us. I was fucking furious that a children's game was terrifying me. I felt stupid and embarrassed, but also shocked and scared and concerned. I went to pick up the tape. However, the VHS tape burned my hand. It felt like I had touched a Bunsen burner on the highest setting. We had to get the oven mitts from the kitchen in order to take it out, and even then it was scorching hot. I brought it outside and tossed it down on the sidewalk, and I crushed it with winter boots that I'd kept in my living room. My girlfriend and I, we couldn't sleep. We had nightmares every night, and we would both wake up in the middle of the night and describe eerily similar images that we saw in our sleep. The scratching would always be there at night, and when the lights were off and the room was a pitch black, save for the moon coming in through the window now. The scratching would happen every time I went near the front door, and every time we said Rat's name, it sounded as if something very small was dragging something across the ground outside the door, pacing, waiting. I would simply wait with the covers pulled up over my neck until I stumbled to exhaustion. At this point, I was determined to sue the company for damages, and the first thing I did was I called my mom and asked her where she got Rat. She had no idea. I found a merchant who sold versions of Rat, and I asked how I could get in touch with the company, and he sent me an email. I don't know about the game. However, I do know it was created by the same people who created Nightmare, and the company was called A Couple of Cowboys. You could try them. I did a bit more research and discovered that the company became defunct in 1994, only 2 years after the company created Rat. I discovered why they do soon after. And I found how Rat soon came to be. In 1992, the year of the game's development, a couple of cowboys had commissioned a manufacturing company in Hati to create the doll portrayed in the game. The company who created the puppet ran a sweatshop where they forced women and children to produce the various components of the puppet, including the felt and plastic of the doll. One day, a young Tinian girl got her arm caught in an industrial sewing machine, and the spring loader, unable to handle the weight of the machine, came loose and struck the child's neck, killing her instantly. And a few days after the funeral, the mother of the child came to the factory demanding to see the owner, who denied that he had anything to do with it. In a fit of rage, the mother said that the blood from the innocent would seep into every crevice of the doll, every component which it was created, and all who touched it would die. She claimed to have summoned a feared demon and screamed at the top of her lungs, "Apparats will curse you!" The owner simply laughed and told his corporate bosses about Apparat. They spread the joke person to person, and the game was renamed Raprat, a loose anagram for Apparat. Each recreation of the name brought with it a greater and greater curse. Only 2 years after Raprat was created, the company was shut down and the owners hired by metal. There were stories of workers begging for days off, skipping work, weeks and weeks, finding the puppet in strange places. Sooner were the stories of suicides and grim, violent suicides, which the workers would stab their hands and burn themselves to death, writing "I am fear" in the nearest surface in blood. Nobody knows where the Raprat doll went after the original creators disappeared. Some say that the last things the victim saw before going insane were large, sunken fish-like eyes. Words of warning? Well, never, ever say the fucking name. God damn it, I'm not going to say it. I'm not even going to tell you what that name is, but I don't want you to say it. Don't say it out loud. Saying a demon's name out loud is an invitation to them, a calling. If you have already done this, it cannot be undone. Do not try and speak or contact him. Avoid being awake between 3:30 a.m. and 4 a.m. when Raprat is most likely to try. It scared the ever-living shit out of you. Oh my god. The VHS, it's back. I thought I stomped it and smashed it into the Kingdom Come, but it's back. I found it yesterday in my sock drawer yesterday. This time I was ready. A whole bunch of people had been contacting me, trying to get rid of the tape or some sort of video from the board game, and my answer to you is that it's too dangerous. If I did that, I could very well drive you insane and scare you to death. The video and the game and Raprat itself has some sort of strange power. Raprat follows me everywhere I go. I see little shadows in the corner of I hear little sounds coming from the hallway, and when I'm the only one home, if Raprat is there, it'll let me know, but it will never let you see it until it's too late, of course. A lot of people have been wanting the normal video. A lot of people have been watching the normal video from the normal board game. And that's the thing. Raprat can be normal. It'll trick you into thinking it's just a damn godforsaken puppet. And then it'll stalk you day and night.
He's Raprat.